Let me either hear or see a roaring wind, a rattling rain, or hail clattering on the plain, till one of these three signs you show. Peace, Diana, you shalt not know. Answer well the prayer I've sent thee, or day and night I will torment thee. Hello lovelies, my name is Eric and welcome to my YouTube channel. So I've opened this video with a quote from Charles Leyland's Aradia, or the Gospel of the Witches, which is a really interesting text, and I wanted to talk about it with everything going on right now. So as you probably know, if you spend time on the internet in witchy spaces, some witches on TikTok, which is a video sharing app. I don't have it, I don't really know about it too well, but it's a video sharing app. I imagine it's kind of like YouTube. And one of these witches has said that they're gonna hex the moon or curse the moon, and the Fae, and they're gonna have sex with the sun. Was sort of what I managed to find. Which fine, you know, that Apollo's Randy. I get it. I was a devotee of him as well. I get it. So, what I wanted to talk about here, though, is this idea of cursing gods, cursing the moon, cursing spirits, or behaving in ways that seem disrespectful to them. Because there's actually a lot more historical precedence for it that I think most people realize. And while I'm watching everybody going around and saying, you know, oh, Apollo is pissed, and Athena is pissed, and Artemis, it's like, why are all these gods Greek? So... I wanted to talk a little bit about this text, but also like some other examples in other spiritual traditions of curses and things like that. So Aradia is pretty full of it, like in terms of like threats to the gods. There's some to Diana, there's some that address Lucifer, like there's a few different ones there within the text that are including those like threats to the gods, where you will have no rest and you will have no peace and you won't have any sleep or anything until you do this thing for me. It comes up a lot. So I wonder if there's maybe part of that like Roman tradition that's coming through in that as well. But even like my earliest mentor and I were having a conversation about this topic, and they were telling me about in Greek tradition where the witches would summon clouds over the moon so that the goddess couldn't see what they were getting up to when they were doing something you know, malefic or whatever. So there's sort of like that whole thing about tricking the gods and like even like forcing yourself to cry to, you know, provoke a response from the gods. That sort of thing is actually pretty common. But I also was thinking about like in terms of threatening spirits and things, like if we do just like take a, you know, that whole like Astaroth is Astarte thing, and you look at the invocations in the Goetia, where it's like, you know, I'll bind you in hell and I'll burn you forever if you don't do this thing that I'm asking you to do for me. Like, we're saying that to a goddess there as well. But also I was thinking about, like, turning saints upside down, images of saints, like burying Saint Joseph upside down to sell your house, and those kind of traditions as well. So... I don't know these people who are like hexing the moon or whatever, but I wanted to posit this to the general conversation, to the broader conversation around the response people are having to this idea of cursing the moon. And sorry, it's just so, it's like, it's so absurd to outsiders, and it's been so entertaining to watch, like, the broader mundane community respond to this. And I saw the funniest TikTok of like somebody else responding to it who's like not in the magical spaces, and it was just hilarious. I wonder if I can snip it in here. Probably not. I don't know how TikTok works or how I can download their videos. But yeah, so funny. Anyway, sort of trying to bring this conversation back around because I went on a tangent there. This idea of humans treating spirits with disrespect ultimately comes to us via the spirits. So, the Gospel of Aradia is meant to be Aradia's teachings to humans. And you would think that of all people, Aradia would probably know how best to address her mother. And so when she's teaching us those invocations or those incantations, we should be following her instruction, because she probably knows best, right? And until we get in contact directly with Diana and she tells us otherwise, it's best to use the tradition as the spirits gave it to us. And the same goes for the Goetia. The demons of that system, they want us to address them in a specific way, and they've given us really clear instructions in these grimoires of how to do that and what words to say, what tools to use, so that we can set things up in a way that suits them, right? And so we use this language that, although seems disrespectful to us, it is respecting them by using the systems that they have given us. So it's about respecting the spirits by using the language they have declared that they want, rather than supposing that your human moral niceties somehow trump the systems that these spirits have given unto us. But yeah, I've used that incantation quite a few times. I've taught the spell of Lemon and Pins a ton of times. It's one of my favorite classical spells. So I really enjoy that spell and that incantation, and I think that the text itself is really interesting historically, and like all of that. I really enjoy Aradia, and I've always definitely considered it like a central text to my beliefs. So I wanted to posit this just sort of as devil's advocate, because like I have cursed the moon because that's what the moon wanted me to do. So yeah, I think maybe have a bit more consideration of maybe where these people were coming from. I'm not trying to advocate for them. Like I say, I have no idea what their intentions were. But I don't really enjoy seeing this rhetoric around this idea that like saying that one particular practice should be deemed, evil and, should not even be considered or whatever. It's just, there's more to this historically than I think people are maybe recognizing right now. So that's my 2 cents on this whole Curse the Moon topic. Go out there, do the Lemon and Pins, curse the moon. Mwah. Bye.